You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Please make sure you have smashed that like button and subscribe to our channel for new story. Story title, The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs and not enough food to feed them. When they were old enough, she gathered them together and said, "My dear children, it is time for you to go out into the world and seek your fortunes. Remember, work hard and you will find success." The first little pig, named Percy, was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all and decided to build his house out of straw, thinking it would be quick and easy. Percy spent his days lounging in the sun and playing in the fields. The second little pig, named Peter, was a bit more diligent, but still somewhat lazy. He chose to build his house out of sticks, which took a little more effort than straw, but was still relatively simple. Peter joined Percy in singing, dancing, and playing for most of the day. The third little pig, named Patrick, was the hardest worker. He knew the value of diligence and built his house with sturdy bricks. Patrick worked all day, laying brick by brick, and constructed a house complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. His house looked like it could withstand the strongest winds and any other challenges that might come its way. The next day, a cunning wolf happened to pass by the lane where the 3 little pigs lived. The wolf was hungry and on the lookout for a meal. As he walked down the lane, he first came upon the straw house. He saw Percy inside and licked his lips in anticipation of a fine feast. The wolf knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in, let me in." Percy saw the wolf's big paws through the keyhole and replied, No, not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin." The wolf showed his sharp teeth and growled, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaws wide to snap up Percy, but Percy was quick and escaped, running to Peter's stick house for safety. The wolf, now even hungrier, continued down the lane and soon came across the stick house. He saw both Percy and Peter inside, and his mouth began to water even more. The wolf knocked on the door of the stick house and said, little pigs, let me in." Peter and Percy saw the wolf's pointy ears through the keyhole and replied, No, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin." The wolf bared his teeth and growled, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf, greedy and eager to catch both pigs, lunged forward, but Percy and Peter scrambled away as fast as their little hooves would carry them. They ran down the lane to Patrick's brick house, slamming the door behind them just in time. The wolf chased after them, but was unable to catch them before they reached the sturdy brick house. Inside, the 3 little pigs huddled together, frightened and trembling. They knew the wolf was determined to eat them, and they could hear him pacing outside, his stomach growling with hunger. The wolf, now desperate and ravenous, knocked on the door of the brick house and said, little pigs, let me in, let me in." The 3 little pigs saw the wolf's narrow eyes through the keyhole and replied, No, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chin." The wolf snarled, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." He huffed and he puffed. He puffed and he huffed. He huffed and puffed with all his might, but the brick house stood firm. The wolf, exhausted and out of breath, could not blow the house down. Frustrated and furious, he stopped to rest and think of another plan. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He climbed onto the roof and prepared to come down the chimney. Inside the house, Patrick quickly lit a blazing fire and put on a big pot of water to boil. As the wolf began to climb down the chimney, Patrick removed the pot's lid. With a loud splash, the wolf fell into the scalding water. The wolf howled in pain, but Patrick quickly put the lid back on, trapping the wolf inside. The 3 little pigs celebrated their clever victory, and after making sure the wolf was no longer a threat, they enjoyed a hearty supper. From that day on, they lived happily and securely in their sturdy brick house, always remembering the importance of hard work and perseverance. And so the 3 little pigs learned a valuable lesson. With determination, cleverness, and a little bit of teamwork, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. And they lived happily ever after. If you like this story, please give this video a like. For more stories, go to bedtimedreamytales.com. See you in the next story.